Choosing colors used to scare me. You finish a sketch you really love, you sit there ready to color her, and your brain just goes blank. Which colors? Why those? You know what I mean? If that's you, trust me, you are not alone. So this time I didn't just pick, I tested 8 color palettes, 8 tiny paintings of the same girl, one after another, until one of them just clicked. It was number 7. This is the leaf boat girl, the sketch so many of you asked me to finish, and there is one little color trick at the end that pulls the whole thing together. Stay for that, so let's do it together. Okay, quick story first. A few weeks ago, I studied Alice in Wonderland and I shared a whole bunch of sketches from it. And I colored one of them, the girl sitting on the chair. That one's linked below if you missed it. But after I posted, so many of you said the same thing. The girl on the leaf boat needs to be finished too. And honestly, you were right. So today, we finish her together. Well, how do I actually choose colors? The short answer is that colors tend to work in families on the color wheel, and each family creates a different mood. But instead of talking about color theory, I'd rather show you. Before I touch Photoshop, I like to test ideas by hand first. Real paint, tiny sketches, no undo button. So, I drew the leaf boat girl 8 times and I'm going to paint each version using a different color family. 8 little experiments. Let's see where they take us. Number 1, monochromatic. One color used in different lightness and darkness levels. It feels calm, clean, and unified. It can feel simple and sometimes lacks variation. Number 2, complementary. Two colors that are opposite each other on the color wheel. It creates a strong contrast and high visibility. It feels bold and very attention grabbing. Number 3, triadic. 3 colors spaced evenly around the color wheel. It feels lively, balanced, and energetic. It can create visual variety across the design. Number 4 is rectangular. 4 colors arranged in a rectangle on the color wheel. It offers a wide range of color variety and richness. It can feel visually dense and complex. And number 5 is tetradic. 4 colors made from 2 complementary pairs. It creates a rich and colorful combination with a strong contrast. It can feel busy if the colors compete for attention. Number 6 is analogous. Colors that sit next to each other on the color wheel. It feels smooth, soft, and harmonious. It can feel subtle and low in contrast. Number 7 is analogous complementary. An analogous set of colors combined with one color from the opposite side of the color wheel. It keeps harmony while adding a contrasting accent color. Number 8 is a split complementary. One base color plus the 2 colors next to its complementary color, it provides contrast while maintaining more balance than a direct complementary scheme. Okay, let me pull all 8 next to each other. This is my favorite bit, to be honest, seeing them all together. And look at number 7. The red leaf catches your eye first, and then on the other side of the wheel, one cool color, blue, for the water. That little bit of blue gives the whole thing a spark, so it feels alive. Red leaf, orange hair, a soft orange yellow dress, and a blue water. That's her. And look what we did. We did not guess. 8 tiny paintings made the choice for us. Okay, now we go digital. And the first thing I do, I open the first illustration, the girl on the chair, and I put her right next to my canvas. Because this isn't a new character, guys. It's the same girl, just another moment from the same story. Same face, same body. So I keep looking back at her. the whole time to make sure she still looks like herself. Then I bring in our colors: orange for the hair, red for the leaf, that soft orange yellow for the dress, and blue for the water. And from there, I just build her up slowly, adding the little details, adding volume, letting her come to life one layer at a time. Now you might be looking at that yellow dress thinking, wait, what does it look so soft? That's a good question. So here's one little color trick I always come back to. Every color has two main controls. The first one is hue. That is just the actual color itself, like yellow, blue, red. The second one is saturation. That's how strong or how intense that color is. And the nice part is you get to choose both. So, yes, my dress is yellow, but that doesn't mean it has to be a loud, bright yellow. I can turn the saturation down and make it much softer, lighter, or almost muted. And that's exactly what I did here on purpose. Because if every color in your painting has the same strength, your eye gets confused. Nothing stands out and you don't really know where to look first. But I don't want that. I want your eye to go somewhere specific. I want it to land on the leaf first. So I keep the leaf rich, deep, and more saturated. And I intentionally put the dress back so it doesn't compete with it. That's it. Just a small shift in control. And suddenly your eye knows exactly where to go. And there she is, done. The girl on the leaf bolt finally finished. Look at her. The red leaf carrying her, that ginger hair growing, the soft dress, the blue water holding it all together. 8 tiny paintings to get there, and not one guess. While we are looking at her, I'm putting the full Photoshop file up on my Patreon this week. Every layer exactly how I built her, plus the full video of the whole process, so you can follow along step by step. That's in the Van Gogh tire, and if you just want the brushes I painted her with, those are down in the description. It's all there if it helps you. So last thing, and I mean it, next time you're scared to color a sketch you love, please don't freeze and don't guess, just test. Even 3 tiny ones, even with a cheap little paint set, let the little paintings tell you the answer. You're not alone in this, trust me. Okay, go make some color tests and have fun with it, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!